Rahul Gandhi's first attempt at reversing his conviction for defamation and the 2-year sentence handed down by a magistrate's court in Surat has failed. Mr. Gandhi approached a sessions court in Surat that refused to stay the conviction and in a 27-page order listed out reasons why. The Congress will now move the Gujarat High Court in appeal as the next logical step. Here are some of the reasons given for dismissal of the appeal by the Surat court. The court maintained that the complainant, Purnesh Modi, who was a former minister in the Gujarat government, has suffered great reputational harm due to statements made by Rahul Gandhi, who is a powerful political leader. They've also disagreed with the arguments that the complaint is incorrect because remarks weren't actually about Purnesh Modi. The court said Rahul Gandhi had all the opportunities of a fair trial and there was no challenge at any stage to the jurisdiction of the court in Surat. Even though the comments on Modi's being thieves, all Modis being thieves, was made at Kolad in Karnataka. The 2-year sentence being described as harsh is permissible in law, and that the appeal that Rahul Gandhi has suffered irreversible loss by being disqualified as an MP was also thrown out by this court. So what next for Mr. Gandhi? He will appeal in the Gujarat High Court and of course the case can go all the way to the Supreme Court. Meanwhile, politics over the matter has escalated.
Rahul ji is asking a genuine questions. Modi ji is not having any answer. So Modi ji is thinking that let us harass Rahul Gandhi ji, but he is not that material. A person who can walk for 4,000 kilometers, irrespective of cold, rain, summer, he is not going to be harassed by these small things.
कि उन्होंने ऐसा मान लिया कि मैं कानून से ऊपर हूँ और मुझे स्पेशल स्टेटस क्यों नहीं दी जा रही है, ऐसे उनके कुछ लोग कह भी रहे हैं। तो जब कोई आदमी अपने आप को कानून से ऊपर मानता है तो वो लगता है कि मैंने कोई गलती थोड़ी की है। और गालियां देना, देश के प्रति नफरत फैलाना, देश में बोलने नहीं दिया जाता, ऐसा विदेश में जाकर के कहना। अब ये कोलार की मीटिंग में बोला कौन था? राहुल गांधी क्यों बोले थे? इसका मतलब बोलने की आजादी है इस देश में, गाली देने की नहीं है, ये समझना पड़ेगा और न्यायपालिका को उनको सम्मान करना चाहिए।
All right, Abhishek Singhvi is joining me first. He's a senior Congress leader and of course legal expert, very prominent lawyer. Mr. Singhvi, thank you so much for speaking with us here on Beyond the Headline. Now, when I spoke to you last, and this was before the appeal was even filed, you said we're taking our time to file a legal response because we want a well-thought-out appeal. Your first attempt has been rebuffed by the Surat court today. Why do you think that is?
Well, that's not very unusual. You win some, you lose some. We have a strong case. Reversals do not change the very strong basis of our case. We expect to succeed. We have appellate recourse in the High Court and then, if necessary, in the Supreme Court. The whole matter is bristling with legal errors, both at the magisterial stage and more particularly in the judgment today. To give you just a few examples, without sounding technical or legalistic or going into too much detail, the learned judge has cited several judgments. The whole order today really is a series of judgments strung together. He has underlined quoted portions. The underlined portions themselves indicate the vast difference between our case and the other sides, and the case which is cited. For example, he has cited cases of corruption charges, Prevention of Corruption Act. Rahul Gandhi is a defamation case. So how are the two comparable for denial of stay? He has cited murder charges, and even in murder charges, people like Navjot Sidhu, the case which is cited, was granted a suspension of conviction. He has cited cases which say that the person should point out and underline the consequences which flow if conviction is not suspended. That's precisely what Rahul Gandhi has done. There is nothing more which he can show that, look, his parliamentary membership will go and pending a decision, conviction must be stayed. So I don't understand how 2 and 2 add up together. There are patent errors in the judgment. And these are only some synoptic examples. There are many more. No satisfactory answer is given about the assumption of jurisdiction from Kolar in a Gujarat matter. He has not shown how the magistrate, having not dealt with this issue, is correct. And yet, he has kind of held against us on 202 jurisdictional article, and so on and so forth. So my point is that we will be challenging it full blown. We expect success. We are hopeful. We are confident. And in the near future, you will see us in the High Court.
Sure, but will the response of the Surat court now lead you to maybe tweak or rethink your legal strategy in the Gujarat High Court? For example, on the point that this entire conviction has caused irreparable harm to Rahul Gandhi, that was thrown out. That his disqualification as MP is not necessarily irreparable harm. So does your strategy in the High Court now change?
Well, legal grounds are made in the High Court, and they are made to cover everything. And I don't need to bore you with all those details, but just the example you've just given a minute ago, Tammana. Please consider what else can Rahul Gandhi show as irreparable prejudice. I want to ask that question to myself. The maximum a person can show is that if you do not stay the conviction pending the appeal, my entire membership will go of a House of Parliament or a House of the Legislature. That is one of the most important statutory, constitutional, fundamental rights if you are representing people. It is an important right to speak in Parliament, to raise issues. That was entirely the case of Rahul Gandhi. What else could he have pleaded? What else did he plead? So on what basis can anyone say, as the judgment appears to have done, that he should have shown a stronger or a more clearer case? I've been searching since morning to find an answer as to how more or how else could Rahul Gandhi show irreparable prejudice.
This is being called a major setback to Rahul Gandhi. Do you accept that it's a setback in the legal process?
Well, to an extent that you don't succeed in a case, it can be called that. I mean, English language is not being misused if you call a loss in a matter a setback. But I don't see it as a setback. I believe intrinsically our grounds are very strong. I believe that the established law does not permit you to put this kind of a 2-year penalty on a first-time offender. It ignores the jurisdictional aspect without deciding that properly. It completely conflates and distorts that one sentence. Indeed, this judgment is focusing again and again by using the phrase Prime Minister Narendra Modi, along with 13 crore other Modis have been defamed. Apart from the other 13 crore Modis, I didn't realize that we have 10% of India's population with that surname. But apart from that point, the learned judge seems to have forgotten that Mr. Modi is not the complainant. He has not filed a complaint. So I think there is lots and lots of problems and confusion. But let us see.
The BJP today is saying the Sessions Court order shows the law is the same for everyone, and it also proves their point that Rahul Gandhi did insult OBCs. He should apologize. What is your response to that?
This is not even a final decision on the merits of the appeal. This is only on stay of conviction. As I've just said, it's a wrong judgment for the 4 or 5 reasons I've already given. But consider the statements you are hearing, and now let's get to the political. It means that if you ever hold in favor on a criminal defamation charge a senior MP, and if you do not impose 2 years penalty, if you grant him a stay of conviction, you are being unequal. You are not upholding the majesty of the law. What kind of reasoning is that? The real point is that Rahul Gandhi has generated a certain amount of frustration and fear in the powers that be. They have acted out of knee-jerk reactions. They've tried to stop him speaking in Parliament, putting absurd preconditions that unless you apologize first, You cannot speak in parliament. Can you imagine? They have tried to silence him with privilege notices. But these things have not mattered to Rahul Gandhi or the Congress party. He speaks his mind. He speaks it straight. The questions he raises are public interest questions, be it corruption, be it unholy capitalist nexus, etc., etc. Instead of answering that, look at the zeal you are showing to move with lightning alacrity after a criminal defamation conviction. Deprive him of his house, throw him out of the house, disconnect electricity, send him 20 notices. If they think that they can do all this to silence Rahul Gandhi, I pity them.
Who think the Congress is happy to drag this on, Dr. Singhvi, because it gives you a chance to say Rahul Gandhi has been targeted. Are you seeing this legal setback as a political advantage?
First of all, you notice the contradiction in what you're saying. You are saying on the one hand that this helps Rahul Gandhi, and on the same hand, the BJP is exulting over it. So there's some degree of paradox there. But on a more serious note, Rahul Gandhi plays with a straight bat. The Congress is playing with a straight bat. We believe this is completely illegal, wrong conviction. We believe that in any event, irrespective of the conviction, there is no question that a member of parliament during the pendency of the appeal should not be getting a stay of conviction. People have got it on a murder charge. People have got it on a corruption charge. And it is nothing but political vendetta to try and portray it like that, to create a climate, to really persecute him and stop him from being in the public space. And I think it is rebounding on that. As far as the law is concerned, the law will take care of itself. There are inbuilt safeguards, there are inbuilt checks and balances, and we have no doubt that appellate recourse will give us redressal.
The last time I spoke to you, Mr. Singhvi, you said we should be thanking Mr. Modi for bringing the opposition together on this issue of Rahul Gandhi's disqualification. Has that opposition unity strengthened and persevered since then?
See, I don't think there is anyone in the entire opposition space, and I would say many even within the BJP or in the NDA space, who do not think that this is petty vendetta. Imagine to file a case on that one sentence, one in Patna, one in Jharkhand, one in Gujarat, or a Kolar speech. It reeks of harassment, of intimidation, of attempts to silence political voices. As a matter of fact, it manifests fear and self-doubt. Nobody would do it. To suggest that the principal complainant, the three persons named there, none of them has complained. And then you give this extraordinary story that everybody of a community is entitled to maintain this locus. I think it's a bizarre situation. And I think everybody in the opposition space, as you ask, believes that it's not a question of being united or not. It is a direct assault on democracy to not give this space to people and to harass them and intimidate them and silence their voices. Fight them politically. Spare no, water in terms of rebutting them or dealing with them. But don't do these petty harassment techniques of getting your people, one Mr. Modi to file it in Patna, one Mr. Purnesh Modi to file it in Surat, one elsewhere. If you think Rahul Gandhi will cow down with this, you have another guest coming.
Thank you, Abhishek Singhvi, for speaking with us.